guys, it's Sandro here, and today's video is a head-to-head review and comparison featuring 3 popular paint protection products, including Meguiars Fast Finish, Gyeon Can Coat, and CarPro CQuartz Lite. Now, although I wouldn't normally place a polymer spray sealant such as Meguiars Fast Finish with 2 light variations of ceramic coatings, such as Can Coat and CQuartz Lite, this review is based on you guys commenting that you'd like to see how Fast Finish compares with Can Coat, and how you'd also like to see how Can Coat compares with CQuartz Lite. And apart from that, Meguiars Fast Finish actually also has the longest durability claim here of up to 12 months. So in this review, I'll be assessing these products in areas such as their user experience, gloss levels, slickness, hydrophobic behavior, chemical resistance, and value, to discover and share as much information about them as possible so that when it comes time to buying one, you can make a well-informed decision. So first up, as I'm applying them on this first test panel, I'm just going to talk a little about their user experience and ease of application. Starting with Meguiars Fast Finish, I really have to say that this product is insanely quick and easy to use. So much so that it's perhaps the quickest and easiest paint protection product I've ever applied. It just spreads like butter into the panel, and as soon as you turn your cloth, it levels down instantly with pretty much zero chance of streaks or high spots in the finish. So it's really quite amazing and so unique in both its application and speed of use. The only thing you really need to avoid is overspray getting onto your car's paint as you spray it on the cloth, but that's honestly an issue with the other products here as well. Secondly, although Gyeon Can Coat just isn't in the same league as Fast Finish when it comes to application, it's actually really not all that bad. It does take more work to evenly spread it into your section, and noticeably more work to ensure that it levels down streak free. But all in all, it still works relatively well as long as you take the time to inspect the paint as you go and address any high spots, as it really feels more like a user-friendly ceramic coating rather than a super easy spray sealant to use like Meguiars Fast Finish. Thirdly, although CarPro CQuartz Lite isn't generally meant to be applied with a microfiber cloth, I decided to apply it this way on this first test panel, and I'll be applying it more like a general ceramic coating on the next test panel. But as a whole, it's pretty much clear that CQuartz Lite is a bit more work to apply than the other two, as it really has a thicker consistency which feels grippier and does take more time and work to spread into the panel and level down with your cloths. So what I would say, based on spending some time applying these products over the last week, is that you could easily coat a whole car with Meguiars Fast Finish in under 15 minutes, whereas you'd be looking at more like an hour with Gyeon Can Coat to do it right, and CarPro CQuartz Lite would probably be closer to an hour and a half, whereas with a full strength ceramic coating it usually takes me a good 2 hours all up. On this second test panel, I decided to apply all 3 products using a more standard coating block and suede cloth application to see if this would change the way the products look, perform, and behave. Now, although this obviously is going to take more time to apply them, and although I'm not recommending this is how you should apply them, the idea here was to see if a more methodical application was going to be of any benefit, and I'll discuss those results in the following tests. Next up was evaluating these products in their ability to add gloss and saturation to automotive paint. Starting with the first test panel and Meguiars Fast Finish, I think it's probably the first time that I'm going to say that I was disappointed with the gloss levels of a Meguiars sealant. But there's just no denying that Fast Finish did very little to improve the paint on this swelled up test panel, and compared to the other products here, as well as Meguiars' other waxes and sealants, this was definitely the most disappointing Meguiars product in relation to gloss and saturation that I've tried so far. In contrast to Fast Finish, Gyeon Can Coat actually did a rather good job here at noticeably improving the gloss and saturation levels of the paint to really enrich the finish of this section, as well as masking quite a bit of haze and some of the lighter swirls. But I also think it's quite obvious that CarPro CQuartz Lite did even a touch better here than Can Coat, with actually quite outstanding levels of gloss and clarity in its section that really made the paint turn into a deeper, darker shade of black. Now, as we have a look at the results on this second test panel, nothing's actually changed as to which product came in first, second, or third, but it's really undeniable that all the products here look so much better on this second test panel compared to the first. Meguiar's Fast Finish actually looks kinda reasonable here, and CQuartz Lite also looks even better, which I wouldn't have expected, as it already looks great on the first test panel. But the biggest improvement of all is definitely Gyeon can coat, that looks so much darker and richer on this second test panel. So I guess the real message here is that your application technique and how well it's done can really alter how these products look and potentially perform. The next test was assessing the lack of friction or slickness that each of these products create on automotive paint. Now, as you'll see, once I run my old ceramic coating bottle over both test panels, the second test panel definitely performed much better than the first. The thing is that for ceramic coatings like Gyeon Can Coat and CarPro CQuartz Lite, it's just harder to get a nice consistent application with a microfiber cloth compared to using a smaller, more precise suede applicator. And as such, you'll hopefully see that on the first test panel, there's areas within those sections that are slicker and grippier depending on how well the product was applied. But on the second test panel, it's a lot more uniform and a thicker application, so the finish is also uniformly far slicker with less friction. Having said that, the test was also a little deceptive, because when you feel Meguiar's Fast Finish, it easily feels slicker than the other two coatings, which is quite typical for a sealant to feel slicker than a ceramic coating. But my guess is that because Meguiar's Fast Finish just lays down so thinly, it caused my ceramic coating bottle to still feel and catch the swirls and haze on the paint, which caused that friction. But between Gyeon Can Coat and CarPro CQuartz Lite, I definitely have to give an advantage to Can Coat, that both feel slicker to the touch and had reduced the friction in my testing. So onto some water behaviour testing. Now as a whole, I wouldn't say that any of these products are particularly bad in the area of hydrophobic behaviour, but I would say that there is a clear divide between Meguiar's Fast Finish that I'd say is displaying okay water behaviour in relation to its water sheeting rates and water bead contact angles, compared to the other two that are clearly displaying some rather fantastic hydrophobic behaviour, more in line with what I'd expect from a ceramic coating. I'd also say that compared to Meguiar's hybrid ceramic wax, Meguiar's Fast Finish just isn't quite in that league when it comes to water behaviour. Now although it's rather close between Gyeon Can Coat and CarPro CQuartz Lite in relation to their hydrophobic behaviour, I would still have to give a slight advantage to Gyeon here, as it does seem to sheet the water a split second faster and perhaps just have ever so slightly more pronounced water bead contact angles. But as I mentioned, it's really close, and they're both displaying quite exceptional water behaviour. The final test was having a look at the chemical resistance of these products to try and gauge their resistance to environmental contamination, which leads to their durability predictions. You'll also notice that I'm using CarPro Multi-X at a stronger 1:3 concentration here, as I expect these products to be more chemical resistant than a standard wax or sealant based on their durability claims. Now the first chemical test was lightly spraying on Multi-X and letting it dwell for a minute and then rinsing it off. That was followed by a second test of more liberally spraying the chemical on and letting it dwell for a few minutes. And after that, the third and fourth tests were spraying that panel down with Multi-X and then mildly working in the chemical with a microfiber cloth and then much more aggressively working in the chemical for a final chemical hit. So all in all, it did take quite a bit of work to get these products to start breaking down. However, as you'll hopefully see, there were some definite differences in how well each of these products were able to resist the chemical. I have to say that I was a little surprised at how quickly Meguiars Fast Finish was affected by the chemical, which was pretty much from the first application, and really nowhere near what I'd expect from a product with such a long durability claim. Between Gyeon Can Coat and CarPro CQuartz Lite, it was again rather close, with both products showing great chemical resistance until I really started to hit them hard with Multi-X. But ultimately, and as you'll hopefully be able to see, CQuartz Lite did seem to edge forward and away from Can Coat in the end, and showed great resistance to this quite intensive chemical hit test. Now as you guys have a look at the water behavior and chemical resistance testing on the second test panel, I'll just sum up this video with my personal thoughts. Firstly, on this second test panel, the water behavior is actually quite similar to the first test panel. But when it comes to killing the water behavior of both Can Coat and CQuartz Lite, it actually took me an extra couple of applications of Multi-X to get there. So all in all, it seems as though a more thorough application of these products will improve gloss levels, slickness and durability, but perhaps may not affect the hydrophobic behavior as much, and it'll also mean more time and work applying them. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm not saying that you should apply them any differently to the manufacturer's recommendations, as after all, these products are sold on the premise that they're super quick and easy to use. But in any case, I hope you still appreciate that you can potentially influence their performance based on your application technique. Secondly, I'll let you in on a secret that this was actually my second attempt at making this video, as in the first video I tried to make, I followed the manufacturer's curing time claims, which I found to be a little premature, at least for me. Meguiars claims that fast finish will cure between 12 and 24 hours later, and I actually agree with that based on my testing. But I found that both the curing claims of Can Coat at 24 hours was insufficient and CQuartz Lite at 48 hours was also insufficient. As when I went to test these products after those curing times, the water behavior was still quite poor and the chemical resistance was so bad that they almost lost all their hydrophobic behavior almost instantly. So at least based on my testing, I found that Gyeon Can Coat needed at least 48 hours curing time, while CQuartz Lite needed at least 72 hours to reach its cured hardened state. So I hope you can appreciate how much work went into this video, though on the plus side it did help me discover a lot more about these products. From my personal perspective, I honestly didn't like the spray-on application with any of them, as I found it almost impossible to avoid getting overspray on the cars, even when stepping away from the car and holding the cloth right up to the nozzle. Now for Meguiars Fast Finish, I actually respect them for making a proper aerosol can and quite a unique spray sealant. But it just feels a little half done and gimmicky with Gyeon Can Coat, and I'm glad that CQuartz Lite didn't go that spray on route. But in saying that, if I had to choose one of these products to use as a spray-on cloth and wipe system, I'd probably still choose Gyeon Can Coat, as although it's nowhere near as easy to apply as Fast Finish, it's definitely superior to it in its performance. And although it may not be quite as durable as CQuartz Lite, it's going to be far easier to apply in that manner. So I guess it finds a good balance of the two. Now Meguiars Fast Finish does come in cheaper than the other two, which are more or less the same price. But based on durability and performance, it kind of levels out, so I don't think price and value are a real factor here. The real difference or question is going to be in the question of which one is best for you. So if amazing speed and ease of application is at the top of your list, then Meguiars Fast Finish easily takes first place in that area. But if slickness and hydrophobic behavior is what you're after, then Gyeon Can Coat may be the one. And if gloss and durability is most important to you, then CQuartz Lite is probably going to be the winner there. So in the end, it just really depends what you're after, as all these products have pros and cons. As always, I really hope you guys enjoyed and found this video useful. Please share this video, like, comment and subscribe to this channel to show your support for this content, and I'll see you guys soon.